Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast. And I'm just checking in on you. Just checking in on you. Seeing how you doing. Oh, Billy Freckles. Wrapped on the movie. I am done. Well, I got to edit the thing now, but the principal shooting, everybody is wrapped. It's done. It's in the can, as they say in the industry. Very excited, incredible experience. But, I'm out on the road right now. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama, home of the University of Alabama, Birmingham. We're not in Tuscaloosa. Down here in Birmingham, went on a nice little fucking hike with, not a hike, sort of a city walk with Joe Bartnick. Went up to the, what do they got there? They got this giant Viking at the top of this hill. Beautiful. Beautiful view and all of that when we were up there. Bartnick was like, this looks like the place where they like do the still shot when they talk about the weather. 75-degree high, low of 59. So bring that windbreaker. So anyways, I'm out here. I'm doing my first headlining gig since I can't remember when. End of January, beginning of February. And I was on the plane, man, the plane. When I was on the way out here. And I just looked at this set list that I have. I have 17 new bits that either I didn't do on my special that should be coming out in a couple of months, and that I've written since, I did, I taped my special. So, fuck's my water. I have, they're about 3 minutes each, I would say on average. So that's 51 minutes. So the ways I see it is I have another 19 minutes that I need to write. And when my special comes out, you will come and see me and I will have totally different material. And that's it. But until then, to fill in that extra 19 minutes, it'll be 19 minutes of shit that's going to be on my next special. So that's how the game works, everybody. Right? And I'll gradually weed that out. You know what the toughest thing for me on the writing a new hour is getting the right closer. Figuring out which is the one that goes last. That's the hardest thing. Other than that, it's just me running my yap, which I am good at doing. Speaking of running, the Boston Celtics are fucking running the table lately. They playing the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. I've sort of been trying to keep an eye on them. Obviously, it was a little busy there. But dare I say, one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now at 50-30, playing the Milwaukee Bucks tonight, 49-30. I'm going to be doing a show, but I'm going to try to keep an eye on that. Bruins have been playing well. I know they lost to the Red Wings, but looks like they won like 3-4 in a row, home and home against Columbus. Getting all caught up here. We have this new guy. What's his name? Hampus Lindholm. I see he had a lower body injury, but people say he wasn't limping around. Pasternak's out. This is good, though. Get all the injuries out of the way right before the playoffs. Everybody comes back a little rested. You watch Netflix, you stretch your hammies, and then hopefully we go on a little bit of a run here. But I got to tell you, listen to me, I'm talking a mile a minute here. I am so fucking excited to be doing stand-up, man. I miss this shit like you cannot fucking believe. It really is. It's the greatest job in entertainment. It just is. It just is. You have to do an hour. It takes an hour. There's no meetings. There's no circling backs. There's no pre-meeting before the meeting. There's no notes. There's no nothing. Get on stage, talk for an hour. You're done. Get out of the venue. It's perfect. It's fucking perfect. So I have some really big gigs coming up. And I'm just going to be, when I get back to LA, I'm just going to be doing stand-up anywhere I can do stand-up and just get this fucking thing together. Editing the movie during the day, playing with my kids in the late afternoon, and then when I get them to bed, I'm going out to do stand-up. And that is it, baby. That's going to be my life over the next couple of months here. And I can't wait. I can't wait, and I feel like I'm 1,000 pounds lighter today. No more responsibility, at least for a week, and then I go into the editing room. But, yeah, got to thank everybody that I worked with. We just had the coolest fucking set ever. Everybody was cool. Everybody was mellow. Everybody had a fucking great time. The last day of the shoot, we brought in a cigar roller. A little trick I learned when I did Pete Davidson's movie. He brought somebody in, and the cigars were delicious. Everybody had a good time. I had a little root beer. Yeah, man, it was fucking awesome. So anyway, I got out here last night, connected through Dallas. We had this friggin' airplane where, the captain gets on. And first of all, if these fucking planes, you get on the planes, they have the intercom on like full blast. And this one was like extra full blast. And in the past, I've asked them to turn it down a little bit. And the stewardess always says, yeah, there's nothing we can do. It's like, what do you mean there's nothing we can do? Are you honestly telling me that they installed an intercom on full fucking blast without a knob on it? Is that what you're telling me? What it really is they're lawyers. Just in case somebody's hard of hearing, we have to have it up full blast so nobody can sue us. The guy next to me was literally blocking his ears. It was so fucking loud. That's what it's going to take. Some ambulance chaser to say, they collapsed my eardrum. So anyway, the guy gets on. Just like loud as shit. It's your captain speaking, right? And he's like, we have a mechanical issue. It's not the plane. It's one of our mid-cabin lavatories. I guess it was stinking up the joint. And I don't know what happened, but like I was, listening to the people working at LAX talking to the male stewardess guy there. And they were just like, yeah, what do you want us to do about it? And the guy was just like, this is how you talk to us? It was really fucking unprofessional. Whoever that guy at LAX was, he sounded like a guy who had to go fix a public toilet. So maybe it wasn't unprofessional. Maybe it was just normal human behavior of, I don't want to fucking do that shit. So eventually they got it done. And we had to connect through Dallas. And I never sweat that shit whenever they're like, I might miss my connecting flight. It's just like, I know people in Dallas. I'll call up Jeff Sewell. Fucking one of my favorite little people in the business. There's Peter Dinklage, and then there's Jeff Sewell. And I would just hang out with him. That's what I was thinking. Then I'll get a rental car, and I'll drive across this great nation. I'll go through Texas, Tyler, Texas, home of Earl Campbell, childhood home, and then I'll fucking go through Louisiana, through Mississippi, right in there. I don't give a fuck. Me and Bartnick were riding there. We're like, fuck it, we'll get a fucking rental car. It'll be fine. And because I didn't give a shit, if you believe in the universe, not only did I make my flight, they changed my gate to being right next door. Dallas is probably the worst one I've ever had to connect in. I really think that they installed the train going the wrong way. Because every time I get there and I have to connect, my connection, say if there's 4 terminals and, the thing runs counterclockwise, the train, I'm always one terminal to the right. So I have to go through all of the terminals to get, or you can run like a lunatic with your bag. I've never really figured out which one is quicker, but yeah, I don't give a fuck anymore. You get to a certain age, you're just too old to run for a plane. And it's just like, all right, either I make it or I'm going to find out what local sports team is playing and I'm going to that game. Tammy, what brings you to town? I missed my connecting flight. And you came out here to a fucking Tuscaloosa Wahoo game? Yes, I did. I don't give a fuck. What division is this? 19? Well, shit, let's get after it. Then you meet people. Next thing you know, you're shooting guns. You join a hate group. And the next day, you're at Hertz. You act like it never happened anymore, and you get back on your fucking plane. No, I shouldn't say hate group. Just because we're down south doesn't mean that these white people down here hate anybody else anymore. Oh, shit, I'm going to talk about that tonight on stage. That's a good way to get in with these people from Alabama. By the way, somebody was sending me clips of Donald Trump, and I have to tell you, he is one of my favorite accidental stand-up comedians or comedic actors of all fucking time. And I cannot take anybody seriously that voted for that guy. I just can't. Like, how many times can you look the other way with this guy? Somebody sent me this thing. He was talking about people throwing bags of soup at police officers. He's like, heavy bags of soup. He's just so full of shit that he just has to but they're all full of shit. Okay, I'm not saying, forgetful Freddy there isn't full of shit. But, like, there has to be a certain level of intelligence. I mean, that's my fucking thing. With sports fans, with nationalistic people, and then people who pick a political party where they just get so into it that they get to the point that they can't call a dumb cunt just because they're on your team or they're wearing the political colored tie you like or they're from your country. I mean, that's one of the fucking flaws of human beings, and I've been guilty of it, where you'd rather win than be right. And you just be like, this guy's a fucking moron. And then they'll be like, well, fucking so-and-so said some dumb shit. It's like, all right. Yeah, no, they're all dumb. They're all dumb. Just say it with me. Just say it. They're Joe Biden is like, that guy shouldn't even be. I mean, thank God he became president. We got him off the road. He's not driving anymore. Anyway, let's not get into politics, but it's just like there's nobody in the world that I love listening try to convey an idea as much as, like, Donald Trump should have a fucking Netflix special. Like, when that guy isn't president, he is one of the funniest human beings I've ever heard in my life. He's like such a character, but then when he becomes, I don't know, like Joe Biden would be fucking hilarious if he wasn't president. Like, you start to wonder, like, it's like Weekend at Bernie's. They just, like, wheeled the guy out with fucking sunglasses on. I think it's what do the kids call it, a deep fake? They probably have somebody else that still has their marbles together talking for the guy. Anyway, what's going on with Russia and, oh my God, why can't I ever remember the name of that country? Kiev. I can remember the name of the capital. Oh, dude. I need like a fucking mental break is what I need. Ukraine. Jesus Christ, the Ukraine. Is that how you say it? Kiev? I don't know how to say it. What's going on with that? All of a sudden, like, they're not reporting on it. I'm hearing that the underdogs are starting to win some fucking... They're starting to win some... let me see, like, who's winning here? Because you just got to be rooting for the Ukraine. Ukraine, here we go. Ukraine versus Russia. Who's winning? Because I saw some great shit where they were fucking... I don't know. I feel like they're only showing us the highlights. Ukraine-Russia war casualties. So far, who's winning? Who is winning in the Ukraine-Russian war? The war that has started between Russia... Why can't they just give you the answer? Why can't the West admit that the Ukraine is winning? I'm ready to admit that. I want that to happen. America is too accustomed to thinking of its side as stymied, ineffective, or incompetent. Is that what we're used to? When I visited Iraq during the 2007 surge, I discovered that the conventional wisdom in Washington usually lagged the view from the field 2 to 4 weeks. Something similar applies today. Analysts and commentators have grudgingly declared that the Russian invasion of Ukraine has been blocked and that the war is stalemated. Look at that. Shout out to the Ukraine. With the goal line defense. I mean, you have to vote for the underdog. That's why I don't get mad at people when they fucking root for people that we're fighting. I mean, well, that's what I would be doing if I didn't live here, right? You always have to vote the underdog. I think if you vote for the favorite, that just says something about you, right? Which is why when I became a college football fan, I didn't jump on the Alabama fucking wagon. I went LSU. I like fucking Auburn, Georgia, Tennessee. I like University of Kentucky. I just can't get into. They're just always going to be a basketball school for me. Oh, speaking of which, how about a shout out to the Kansas Jayhawks? I missed that game because I was working. I had a break at one point, and I saw they were down by 15 points at the half. And they just, right out of the locker room, they just came out there and they fucking took it to them. Fucking Carolina couldn't hit a bucket, but I heard Carolina came back, and then one of their big men got hurt. And once he got hurt, that was it. But this is something else that I didn't know. I thought, if you asked me, how many titles North Carolina had, I think they had 10 or 12 or whatever. I didn't realize, I wasn't really thinking that. I knew UCLA had the most, but I thought they had more than 11. But when you think about it, when you have a 1 in 64 chance that there's 64 teams making the playoffs, it's one of the harder championships to win as far as odds go. So it's UCLA has 11. Kentucky has 8, I think. Is it Kentucky? Then UNC has 6. Duke has 5. They're everybody's in single digits except UCLA. I found that pretty amazing. As amazing as I want to see what happens to the Duke program now that Coach K is gone. This is such a critical fucking time where the next guy has to win. You got to keep it going. Even though they won for 40 straight fucking years, 42 straight years with Coach K, it's like how University of North Carolina, it was critical that when Dean Smith stepped down that they continued to win. And I want to say in the early 90s, that Montrose team, was he coaching that one? I wanted to say by then that was already his son or something like that. But they were able to keep it going because watching what happened with the University of Michigan football, where you go from winning and being a destination school, it only takes 5-6 years of losing, and then kids don't view the school as a winning program. 7-8 years, you got to figure an incoming freshman, you've been losing since he was 10 years old. I don't think he's really paying attention to college history, but he's been watching the last 8 years as he was moving up the ranks in football, and all he does is see you lose to Ohio State every fucking year. That was why it was so huge today, this past year when Michigan finally beat Ohio State. You got to, at some point, you got to get that big victory. Or what you do is what Oregon did. You never win shit, but you come out with those disco ball fucking helmets, and there's enough good players out there man, I want to wear that uniform, which is one of the most interesting ways I've ever seen a program built, is that they came out with these space-age Buck Roger fucking uniforms, and it literally turned the program around for a little while. I think they kind of settled back down, though. Am I crazy? I have no idea. I'll tell you what I got right now. Crazy free time over the next week. Woo! Yeah, you know what I did before I got on my flight? You know what the fuck I did? Well, of course, I played with my kids, and I took them to school and all of that shit. But after that, I actually went and I played drums for a second. 5 minutes. 10 minutes or whatever time I had. I have gotten into a bad habit as a parent where I bribe my son with cookies. Because he's super strong and really strong-willed. And if you're carrying him, okay, we're going inside, you go to pick him up, he just grabs 2 handfuls of your T-shirt, and he starts, no, he starts pointing the other way. So the other day there was some people over, and they were, trimming the trees. We get fires out here. You got to make sure you don't have all this shit touching your house, right? So they're trimming the trees. And my son was just fascinated by it. And he was going, hi, hi, saying hello to everybody because he's a little sweetheart. And every time I would go inside, he would just grab me like I owed him money, just 2 handfuls of T-shirt, and he would start flipping out. And then finally, I was like, oh, you want to keep watching him? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right. And then finally I was like, dude, we have to go inside because I got to go to the airport and everything. And he starts, flipping out again. And finally I go, you want a cookie? And then he just looks at the workers in the tree and he waves. He goes, bye-bye. We started walking in the house. I go, cookie? He goes, cookie. So I gave him half a Girl Scout cookie. It's kind of funny. You know what? I'm finding the good cop, bad cop thing in my relationship with my lovely wife is, sorry I'm yawning here, I'm still fucking wiped out. I'm finding is she's more of a disciplinarian, which is good. Like she calls him out on their shit and I'm just too much of a softie. So what I really have to do, but I'm smart enough that I know I cannot undermine. You got to be a unified front as a couple with your kids, or else they'll just start, going around. They'll just go to the person that's going to say yes in that situation. But I have to admit, it's really hard for me. Because I have to admit, when a kid has a meltdown, I just think it's fucking funny to me. It's funny, or I just go, all right, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? But it's funny to me, but my wife is so good at seeing what that behavior is going to lead to. I think I have too much of I got yelled at as a kid. I didn't like that. So I'm going to be, I'm going to take a different approach. And I think my kids, both of them already know that I'm the softie that they can kind of get over on. So I got to kind of I got to come more my wife's way because, she knows all the tricks. She goes, no, what she does is when she doesn't like her dinner, she just says she's full and then her stomach hurts. And then we throw it out. And then an hour later, she says she's hungry and then asks for what she really wants. I mean, that sounds like a really simple caper, right? But she was getting me on it all the time. And I was like, oh, I don't want you to go to bed hungry. What do you want? You want some cereal? My wife is looking at me like, this is why she's not eating her vegetables. She's doing this. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. I really am a fucking moron when it comes to that shit. So, and I'll tell you, one of my favorite things in the world is watching my wife be a mother because she is amazing at it. She has everything is perfectly balanced. She's silly, she's fun, she's affectionate, but then she knows when to drop the hammer, all right, that's enough. That's enough, and I know what you're doing. I feel like I'm Sergeant Schultz on fucking, what was it, not McHale's Navy, on not Kelly's Heroes. The fuck was that called? Oh, Jesus Christ. I see nothing. Hogan's Heroes. There we go. All right, Butcher Box, everybody. Look who it is. Oh, Butcher Box. Meal prepping is difficult. Butcher Box makes it easy. Butcher Box is a subscription service that takes the guesswork out of finding high-quality meat. Butcher Box sources their meat from partners with the highest standards for quality. No more searching the grocery store. For 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, and wild-caught seafood. You don't know what they're going to do. And more. Their sourcing decisions are made holistically, keeping the farmer, the planet, the animal, and your family in mind. Each box contains between 8 to 14 pounds of meat, depending on the box you choose. That's enough for 24 individual meals. Packed fresh and shipped frozen for your convenience so you can save time on your next trip to the grocery store. Customize your own box or go with one of theirs. Either way, you get exactly what you want. This is your chance to never have to shop for ground beef again. That's right. Butcher Box is giving new members free ground beef for life. Plus, get a $10 off coupon. Sign up at butcherbox.com/Burr and get 2 pounds of ground beef free in every order for the life of your membership, plus a $10 off coupon. Log on to butcherbox.com/Burr. Claim the deal. All right. So there you have it. So I'm in Birmingham tonight. I'm in Macon, Georgia tomorrow. And then I'm going to the Masters. And I'm going to put on the TV right now because I know Tiger Woods probably about halfway through his round, hoping he's making the cut. And I'll get to see that legend one more time. And with that, please listen to a little bit of Anything Better clip. And after that, we'll have a little bit of music interlude, unless we don't have an Anything Better clip. I can't remember which. And then you'll get a bonus half hour of a Thursday afternoon just before Friday, Monday morning podcast after. All right, that's it. Have a great weekend, you cunts.
Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's the Monday morning podcast for Monday, April fucking 7th. What's going on? How are you? I apologize for the bad sound on the recording. I am overseas. I am in gay Paris. I don't mean that in a homophobic way. It's just what they call it. I think gay still means happy over here. It used to mean happy in the United States of America before gay people stole that word, and then started telling people how they can use it, how they can't use it. It doesn't make any sense to me. You don't own a word. Anyways, I mean, how come stupid, how come dope and stupid can actually mean something good, right? But gay can't mean that's lame. I guess because it's coming from gay meaning same sex. I don't know. I've never understood it. I can say that fucking band is gay, meaning lame, and still not care if gay people get married. Like, why does everybody have to be a fucking parent right now and just say what you can say and what you can't say? It doesn't make a difference what the fuck you say. It's what's in your fucking heart, right? All you're doing is you're just giving a roadmap for psychos on how to get through the minefield without showing their hand, And that's how you end up with another Hitler. I'm joking. Maybe a Mussolini, though. I'm sorry, I'm going to try not to move the computer here. The reason why I'm recording this way is because I finally figured it out after 2 times being over here, or overseas. I think I was in Australia one time, and I've blown out my fucking mixer. What I figured out over here for you people, my countrymen in the States, do not plug anything with only two prongs into a fucking wall over here. My experience is it either blows out the plug, that's the best case scenario, or it just completely damages and fucks over whatever device you were trying to put in. I've lost 2 mixers. I tried to plug my iPhone in, and I'm saying this is with an adapter too. I didn't just stick it in a wall. I actually used an adapter, and I did that with my iPhone charger for the 4S, and the thing fucking blew up. I should have known because I was charging it earlier and it was working fine, and when I pulled it out of the wall, it was really hot. Now, I don't understand electricity. To me, it's still magic. And you somehow trapped lightning and put it in the wall. That's what electricity is to me. It's lightning. Because my only education about it was when old Fatso, with his male pattern baldness and his fucking glasses, flew the kite down there in Philly. And he went out there and he was all hammered because he was making excuses for his alcoholism. Isn't that what he did? He said, yeah, beer is proof that God loves us. What a filthy old man he must have been. Coming down the street with his giant mug. I bet Ben Franklin was the first one to have like a personalized mug at a bar or something. Like the first Norm from Cheers as he comes stumbling in. His stupid slurring witticisms. witticisms, however the fuck you say it, I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, I'm over here on vacation. Finally took a vacation. I've always wanted to come here, and why the fuck not, right? What else am I gonna do? Huh? Go to fucking Santa Fe? No, I've always wanted to come here, and it has been absolutely incredible. And I did not brush up on my French whatsoever. I mean, there wasn't really anything to brush up on. I like how I just said that as if I was, at one point, semi-fluent in the language. I wasn't. I will tell you that I took it from 6th grade to 12th grade, and I never progressed past French 1. And actually, I did. I got to French 2A, and I did so poorly. My dad suggested, why don't you go back to French 1 and start over again and get the basics? And I was like, all right, that sounds like a good idea. And in theory, it was a good idea, because I still had my junior and senior years to get through French 2 and have my 2 years of a language, you know, because that was the big thing when I went to high school. You have to have 2 years of a language. If you don't have 2 years of a language, you're not going to be able to get into any college worth anything in the United States of America. Of course, it turned out to be complete horseshit. All you have to do if you fuck up in high school is go to any college that you want to go to and just say, listen, can I just start taking courses to prove that I can exist at this academic level? And in their head they just think, yeah, we'll take your money, stupid. We'll take it. Go ahead. Pay for a couple of classes. Flunk out, and we got your money, you dumb fuck. But if you actually hang in there, eventually they have to accept you. That's the other way to get into a big school. You know? I mean, personally, I think what you should really do if you want to save some fucking money and you weren't born to Daddy Warbucks. I don't even know if that's the right reference. I've never seen Annie. I thought the whole thing was offensive. I didn't like how Annie looked exactly how I looked when I was a child in the 70s, and that they then made it a woman. I took it as a personal attack, but that's a whole other fucking story. Anyways, if you weren't born into a rich family, what you really want to do is go to a community college for your first 2 years. What's that, like $700 a year? Or a semester, whatever the fuck it is. You knock that out. There's half your fucking college education. Bing, bang, boom. You haven't had to pay shit. And then you transfer to a bigger school. In the better school, and then you only have to pay 2 years, and you know at the end of it, you got the same degree hanging on the fucking walls, the other jerk off. But anyways, maintenant. Back to being here in France. So what I've been doing is I've been going onto this Duolingo website, and I got to tell you, it's been phenomenal. And I've been over here in Paris having conversations, basic conversations in French with these Parisians who I told were unbelievably rude, and to just speak English to them because they hate when you try and speak French, and they'll roll their eyes, and you'll try to talk to them in English, and they'll either stomp away or they'll just speak to you in English, condescending, all of that shit. I have to tell you, my experience, nothing could be further from the truth. These people have been ridiculously polite. They're really fucking nice. And if you're making an effort to speak their language, they're actually cool with it. If you just sit there and you're like, blah, 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 whatever you go, do I say that right? And they'll laugh and they'll just kind of help you along with it. That's what I found. I found a couple of impatient people, but you know what the fuck? I don't know. I think it kind of goes back to that same thing like with New Yorkers. I always heard New Yorkers were rude and pushy. And when I moved there, I didn't find that. I found them to be really friendly. So either people are making up shit or I'm fucked up, one or the other. It's probably a little bit of both. But I've been here for about 5 days, and I can't say enough about the people, man. I think they're great. And the lovely Mia, she's unbelievable when it comes to speaking other languages. She just I swear to God, I was telling her the other day, she could be like a spy, because she'll sit there and she'll start speaking in French, and her French is so good that they just roll with it here, and then they start saying shit, and I know Nia doesn't know what they're talking about, But she doesn't betray that on her face. She just sits in the pocket and she watches their body language and their mannerisms. And she picks up on what they're saying, and then she responds to it with the French that she knows. Or if she doesn't, she gives them a smile and then asks them in English, is that what you're talking about? And they absolutely fucking love her. Me, on the other hand, I've been able to get to... I had one cab ride that was entirely in French, which like made my whole fucking trip. I figured this is how you learn the language if you ever lived over here. How to get, have a cab ride and ordering food seems to be the way to go the first time. So I've been trying to learn all these different, words for food and that type of shit over here. But it's been tremendous. I've always wanted to come here, and I got to tell you, the limited amount of places that I've been to over here, or around the world, I should say, this is visually the most unbelievable city I've ever been to. I mean, these sons of bitches knew what they were doing when they were laying this thing out. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Like, I've been to I think 3 parks here, or 2 giant parks here that could fuck with Central Park. Well, they're not as big as Central Park. They have another one that's as big as Central Park. I haven't been to that one yet. You know what's funny? As I looked it up on the internet, and I guess at night that's where the hookers are. And you know what? I got to tell you, their hookers are pretty fucking gorgeous. That's another thing, too. Best looking fucking women as far as a country I've ever gone to. And that includes, this just might be personal taste. This includes Sweden and Norway, where the women were drop dead gorgeous. And Iceland, too. Like, the French women are fucking unbelievable. Plus, they're speaking French, Who the hell doesn't like a gorgeous woman speaking French? I don't. Maybe you don't. This is just all my own personal opinions here. But anyways, these other 2 parks that I've gone to, the way that they do it, it's like you walk into the park and it's sort of, you're covered like just trees all around you. And that's beautiful enough with park benches and all that. And then you basically walk, I don't know how far, I don't know how many meters, how many yards, but you get all the way in, about 4 or 5 football fields. And once you get in, all of a sudden it just comes to this like giant open area. And then you have these 365-degree views of like museums, old governmental buildings, or like the Eiffel Tower all of a sudden will just be there like a goddamn mountain in the distance. It's literally breathtaking, And I know you guys are going to trash me for saying that, but I swear to God, it's I can't say enough about it. And if I was ever going to live, I think somewhere else. First of all, I always wanted to learn to speak another language, and also this place is incredible, and I've only seen a little bit of it, and I'll tell you about it after these messages here. I got to do a little bit of advertising here. I apologize for the clicking sound if this is like extra loud, but like I said, my fucking mixer only has the 2 prongs, and I'm not sticking that in the wall because I buy like $90 mixers. So that's another thing too about your devices over here. If you got something that costs you about $100. It's some sort of piece of electronic. Do not plug it into the fucking wall with or without an adapter. Well, without an adapter, it's probably going to blow up, as opposed to just getting shorted out the other way. Okay, here we go. Stamps.com, everybody. The post office is always crowded. Now it will be even more crowded with people mailing in their taxes. But you still need to get out envelopes and packages for your business. What do? Use Stamps.com instead. Stamps.com brings all the services for the post office right to your desk. It's so convenient and easy to use. You can buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter, any package using your computer and printer.
Then just hand it to your mailman. Stamps.com even sends you a free digital scale that automatically calculates the extra postage you need. And the scale is yours to keep. You'll never have to go to the post office again. I use Stamps.com to send out all my DVDs, my posters, my re-elect Bill Burr buttons, whatever thing I'm selling, whatever I'm whoring out at the end of my shows. Right now, you can use my last name, Burr, B-U-R-R, for this special offer, no risk trial, plus a free $110 bonus offer that includes a digital scale and up to $55 in free postage. Don't wait. Go to Stamps.com before you do anything else. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in Burr, B-U-R-R. That's Stamps.com. Enter Burr. Next, what do we got here? Oh, LegalZoom, everyone. Modern technology is great. Smartphones, iPads, and other gadgets make it easy to do so many things. But why is it that our lives seem busier at the same time? Well, I got theories on that, but I don't have time to tell you about them. Well, when it comes to getting to the legal help you need, LegalZoom provides a great solution that works with your busy schedule. Let's face it, the legal system is complicated. There are better things you can do with your time. Thankfully, LegalZoom is there for you. So if you're thinking about starting a business, forming an LLC, or getting a trademark, will, or living trust, LegalZoom gets the job done right. You'll get the personal attention you need to help you take care of all the details. LegalZoom's been helping families and small business owners for over 14 years, and they received an A+ from the Better Business Bureau. An A+, people. Call or visit LegalZoom today. For an extra discount, enter Burr in the referral box at checkout. That's LegalZoom.com, discount code Burr. LegalZoom provides legal help through independent attorneys and self-help services, but it is not a law firm. Go to LegalZoom.com, enter discount code Burr. And what do we got here? One more. Dollar Shave Club, everyone. Nothing feels better than that first shave with a fresh blade, right? It's smooth, it's close, and the blade is as sharp as ever. It feels fantastic. But thanks to the Big Shaves... What? But thanks to the Big Shaves company's ridiculous prices, you can't afford to use a fresh blade every week, can you? So you drag that dull-ass blade across your face for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 10 weeks? However long, depending on your cash situation. Why would you do that to yourself? Maybe because the only thing more painful than shaving with an old blade is shelling out $30 for a pack of new ones. If you want to enjoy a fresh blade every week, but you don't want to take out another mortgage on your house, you got to join DollarShave.com. For just a couple of bucks a month, DollarShaveClub.com ships the highest quality blades you can get. I use these things when I'm out here on the road. They're absolutely phenomenal. Everything they're saying about them is true. And you know what? It's only $6 for the best quality blades you can get. So every week I can pop in a fresh blade and treat myself to an amazing shave. I'm finally treating my face like my own face. It's incredible. Join DollarShaveClub.com. Get amazing quality blades in the mail for a couple of bucks and treat yourself to a brand new blade every single week. Hundreds of thousands of guys have upgraded their shaving with DollarShaveClub.com. I'm one of them, and I'm loving it. Now it's your turn. Shave time, shave money. DollarShaveClub.com/Burr. That's DollarShaveClub.com/Burr. All right, back to the podcast here. And I also forgot to mention, I did have a couple of things that I wanted to bring up before I get going too far. The All-In Comedy Tour kicked off at, Jesus Christ, now where the fuck is it? Is it right here? Yeah, there we go. The All Things Comedy Tour kicked off down at Largo last Monday, hosted by yours truly. All right? Kicking all my buddies out of the nest here so they can go out on the road and headline their own tour. It's the All-In Comedy Tour starring Rose Bowl tailgate legends Joe Bartnick, Jason Lawhead, and my good friend Paul Verzi. I actually got some great feedback on the tour. They did their first date alone down in San Diego. And here's a review. Here's an email I got. Dear William, I might be your biggest West Coast fan. I saw you on New Year's Eve and just checked out the All-In show in San Diego last week. Wow, those guys were hilarious. Joe, Jason, and Andrew Themelis, who helps me on the podcast here, actually came down for the show, were just as awesome as they were at the Wiltern. Joe Bartnick is an animal. There's never been a truer thing said.
He says, if that's the way he does comedy, I hate to see him drunk. Actually, you'd love to see him drunk. Lawhead is a spitfire. He did a great impersonation of the guy from Bar Rescue by request of the other guys on the show. Oh, by the way, we got a video of that. We got some video of that. Jason Lawhead does a fucking hilarious impression of the Bar Rescue guy. We're going to have that up here on the podcast page. And he said, I was quoting Andrew Themelis to my coworkers the next day, and now on to Verzi. Holy shit, Paul Verzi's hilarious. He's the only one of your four horsemen I'd never seen perform. You don't keep any slouches around. I highly recommend your podcast listeners check out their other shows. I'd be the water boy on this tour, too. I was hoping you were actually a guy in the audience in disguise and you were going to stand up and rip off your fake mustache and jump up on stage. Thanks for the podcast and go fuck yourself. There's actually a chance that I might pop in on a show or possibly two on this tour. You never know. But just let you know, tonight they're at Helium Comedy Club, great comedy club in Portland, Oregon. Tomorrow, Tuesday, they're at the Punchline in San Francisco. Actually, Tuesday and Wednesday, they're at the Punchline in San Francisco. And Thursday, they're at the Punchline in Sacramento. All great clubs. It's an amazing show. They're all my buddies. I'd love it if you had time to go out and support these guys. The show starts at 8 p.m. See them all on the same bill. You're going to get to be able to tell your friends that someday. And and also Tom Segura, one of my favorite. I call him new comedians because I'm an old guy, and he's also one of the members here in the All Things Comedy Network. He has a new comedy special out. His first hour special called Completely Normal. It's available if you want to purchase it on iTunes. If you just want to check it out and get him some views on Netflix, you can obviously check it out on Netflix. All right, I'm done running my mouth here. So back to the tour here. I just realized I'm wearing headphones and I can't even hear myself. Not the tour. Back to the trip out here in France. So yeah, we got here on Wednesday of last week, and I got to admit, I haven't really done any touristy shit. I just kind of been sitting in cafes, watching people going by, eating some great food, and renting a bicycle, riding around like a twinkle toes, having a good time doing that. Walked along the River Seine. If you ever get a chance to do that, you're going to see these stairs that go down where you can get really close to the river. Do not, I repeat, do not do that. I think that's where everyone in Paris, when they can't make it to the bathroom, takes a piss, because it literally smells like the Port Authority down there. If you stay up high along the road, it's incredible. And I don't know, we've just been having a great time here. I'm trying to get Nia to come down here to the podcast. She's still sleeping. She's got a little bit of jet lag. I don't know. You know what? I'll hit pause here in a few minutes, and I'll actually go into the other room and see if I can get her. I apologize if this is too quiet. We're actually staying in a very quiet building here. We rented an apartment here, which it's definitely more expensive, but it's kind of, you save money by basically, because then you have a kitchen. So what you do is you just go down the road, you walk outside, and you maybe you learn some French words on food. You go in and you go try to have you try to go buy your groceries, all speaking only French. I was almost able to do it. I can always fool them for the first couple of words, and they kind of figure it out, and they slowly start speaking English. But I kind of just stick with the French like I'm trying to learn it. At that point, I'll say the English word and then try to say the French word and then just say, is that how you say it? And then they usually correct me or whatever. But whatever, then you can just bring it back, load up your fridge, and you can save a ton of cash that way. I don't know. It's just been amazing. It's been amazing. I haven't been able to get up early enough to get a fresh baguette. And I can tell you that that's something else that I learned here, is nothing goes faster than a fucking baguette in the morning. These people, like, that's one of the true stereotypes. Like when you see them walking down the street or riding a bicycle with a baguette, these fucking people are into those goddamn things, and they try to be the first person in line. I mean, dude, they're gone. They're fucking gone by the time I get up at like 11:30. It's probably the earliest I've been getting up, around 10 o'clock, 11:30 or whatever. They're just fucking gone. There's like 2 or 3 left, and I don't know. So I already forget the name of bakery. How do you say bakery out here? Ah, shit, I don't know. But Neil will know. I keep thinking I learn words like le chien, and she go, no, le chien. It's like, you know what, fuck you. You know, just it's kind of annoying because you know what? I actually kind of got pissed a couple times when she did that to me because I felt like I was back in French class. It's like, am I ever going to get this shit down? So anyways, as I mentioned, we haven't seen... The only touristy things that I've seen is I've just stood and looked at them, like the Notre Dame. I basically, one day... This is a great city to get lost in, too, because you just use the river as your guide. I just kind of go in about 5, 10, 20 blocks. Although you can get lost because the river River Seine kind of winds down the middle of it. But it's been a pretty good way to try to figure out where the hell you're at. But like I walked by the Notre Dame and it was beautiful and everything, but I'm not a big religious guy. And then I saw the line of people outside of it and I just laughed. Like, why the fuck? I understand if you have kids and you're trying to teach them something, but if you're a fucking adult and you're on vacation, there's no reason to ever stand in line. You're on vacation. Why would you do that to yourself? You know? Like, we were sitting there, I was trying to find the Arc de Triomphe, and I couldn't figure out where the fucking thing was. And it was one of these great moments, just wandering around Paris, and then I saw this beautiful park, and I was just like, Neil, let's go in there. Let's just walk in there. She was like, all right. So we start walking in, and I started to take in the view, and I turned around, and I looked over my shoulder, and I was looking right up the Champs-Élysées, however the fuck you say it, and basically at the end of that street is the Arc de Triomphe, all the way in the back, and I literally got goosebumps, because all I've ever seen of that monument is 2 video footage. One, when when the Germans had defeated France and they were driving up that fucking street. And then 2, when England and the Americans came in and we helped France get the Germans out of their fucking country. All of them, you know, all the French women and everybody going fucking crazy. It really gave me chills. And I kept saying that to Nia. I know I was freaking her out. There's no way to say Hitler drove up this street in an excited way without freaking out the person that you're with. And I had to, you know, I like that history shit. You know what I mean? It's like one of the most evil guys ever, who was well on his way to taking over the world, and possibly, you know, the height of him taking over his quest was him driving up that famous street. And I don't know. Somebody got when I was on the road in Canada. Somebody gave me this book, The Guns of August, and it's about World War I, and it's phenomenal. And I knew that France had lost to Germany in World War I and World War II initially, both wars, but I didn't realize that in like 1870 they had another war, and Germany won that one. Why didn't I bring the book down here? I'll read the quote next week. And basically, France straight up lost that war. It wasn't like World War I, World War II, where they got occupied and then eventually got them out of there. At least I think that's what happened in World War I, because I don't know much about that war. But in 1870, they fucking lost. And aside from having to give up some land, one of the things
part of the treaty in the end is they had to let the Germans drive up that street, the Champs-Élysées, right? And not one French person showed up. It was just one of the darkest days in their history. I mean, talk about absolute fucking humiliation, right? So these sons of bitches drove up the street, and then they had to pay like some ridiculous amount of francs as a punishment. I want to say 5 billion, but there's no way anybody could afford that back in fucking 1870. It was supposed to take an entire generation for them to pay it back to the Germans, which would obviously keep France weak. And these motherfuckers so wanted these guys off their back, they paid it off in 3 years. I'm going to go out on the limb and say that nobody ate a baguette for fucking 3 years here in France, and they got the Germans off their backs. And once they did, there was this expression over here, I guess, according to the book anyways, where basically that moment in their history when the Germans drove up Champs-Élysées, which I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, it was basically said that it was something like to never be spoken of, but always thought about. Basically, never forget, but don't bring it up. That's how much it hurt them for that to happen. And it was referred to, what was it referred to? I can't remember. I'm the worst. Basically, I didn't realize that had happened. So the fact that fucking Hitler did it again, I don't know if it happened again in World War I. I have no fucking idea. I don't know shit about World War I, but it happened again in World War II. So it actually happened again. And as far as I've gotten into that book, The Guns of August, basically the fucking reason why Germany started the first one, kind of England and France and everybody else, they were being cunts to the Germans. They just wanted to be acknowledged. They just wanted to be included. So I guess whenever these diplomats would go around Europe and they would visit, everybody always went to Paris. Everybody went to fucking Paris because Paris is the shit. All right? And people would go to London. I don't know maybe they'd go to fucking Rome, but no one ever went to Berlin. And I guess they started getting this inferiority complex. Plus, there was a couple of treaties going on where just logistically German felt that they were going to have to fight a war on two fronts and they were going to get fucked. So unless they made a move first, they were going to be in trouble. And, France and England were playing a good, the great game of what? We're not going to invade you. We're not going to try to, fucking take over your shit. Why would we do that? We're France and England. We don't have a record of doing that around the fucking world for centuries. They kind of had an argument. I'm talking about World War I here. I'm not talking about the fucking maniac there of World War II. I'm just saying I actually kind of understood so that's that was their logic. I'm not saying it was the right move, but it was very interesting. So anyways, this is basically what I've been doing here. And today I'm trying to knock the podcast out early. Because like I said, we haven't done anything touristy. We walked up the Champs-Élysées, that street, to go see the Arc de Triomphe. And it was funny. It was a breathtaking street, but the closer you got to the monument, the more I felt like I was in Times Square. There's like a Forever 21 and shit like that. Very disappointing that there was that. Although I did use a public bathroom that cost me €2. That was the cleanest thing I had ever been to. But I didn't realize that. You can actually go to the top of that monument. I had no idea. And I also still have no idea how you actually get to the monument because it's in the middle of a fucking rotary. And there are subway stairs on the other side. And we went down into the subway and followed the sign. And all it did was spit us out on the same side. I couldn't figure it out. And at the end of the day, I have to stand in a fucking line to stand up on something where I can probably get a taller view, a higher view at a fucking restaurant at the top of a hotel where there's no line. And I can actually look at the monument rather than stand on the monument and look at a fucking hotel. It doesn't make any sense. If you want to stand behind fat fucks in jean shorts, then go to a monument and try to go to the top of it. I can tell you that. Anyways, so then finally me and Nia, we're like 3-4 days here, said, hey, do you want to look at the Eiffel Tower now? And she's like, yeah. We're both exhausted because it's a long fucking walk. Oh, and by the way they have their city laid out, there's like Le Louvre, their famous museum where the Mona Lisa is, which I've yet to go see. I'm going to do that today. All right, which I don't like the whole setup of it. How you have to go in. You got to go in to see her because that bitch ain't coming outside. No, you got to go in to see the fucking thing. I already know. I heard it's really small, and she's got that Ryan Gosling smile. I'm going to go do it just to fucking do it. But every day you walk by that, there's just busloads of fucking kids getting dragged there by their French teachers from around the fucking world. And, I don't know. That's why I'm going there on a Monday. I figure the weekends are going to be worse, so I'm going to go there. And Nia's just like me when it comes to museums. She likes them for a finite period. Museums just make me feel dumb. I'm going to be honest with you. I go in there and I try. Patrice O'Neill used to have this great bit about there was some disaster, giant disaster that happened, and they were showing all the sad people, and he was talking about how he sat there and he tried so hard to give a fuck, which I'm butchering it. His delivery of it, of course, was perfect, but that's how I feel when I go into a museum. The Patrice O'Neill bit where I'm trying so hard to give a fuck. I just don't care about old stuff. I respect it. I would rather hear a scientist. I'd rather watch a scientist on television tell me why what I'm looking at is so fucking important, rather than going up there and have to read the index card. It's not even an index card. It's like a fucking notebook paper size thing of all this shit. There's too much shit to know. Then I go in there and I'm going to look at the knickknacks of all the fucking, or the bric-a-brac, all of the fucking, it's too much, all right? I like going to car museums, stuff like that, I can deal with that. So I'm not saying museums are bad. I'm just saying that I am not refined enough as a human being to actually appreciate what's going to be in that thing. We'll see. I'll talk to you about it next week. But so, anyways, we had gone to the Arc de Triomphe, and then I finally go, all right, you want to go see the Eiffel Tower? I mean, we saw it. We saw basically a third of it, all the way to about a half of it from those parks, the amazing views. So we were both tired from walking up the street, so we got one of those little bike rickshaw fucking things. It was the greatest. So we jumped in that thing. We're going on the rotary around the fucking arc. And then we're just riding along. And then once again, because the French know how to make a city, you go around this roundabout, and then all of a sudden there's all these buildings, and then there's just this giant gap. And literally, I was looking down because I was like videoing as we were riding, and I just heard Nia gasp, and I looked up, and there it was, like a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex, like a giant. It had just taken a step right towards you. It was unbelievable. The greatest tourist attraction I've ever fucking seen. And I didn't even go up. We never went up in it. We just stood there and looked at it. Essentially from across the river, but it's right on the river, and it's so goddamn big. It was incredible. And then we just went across the way and we sat in a cafe and just looked at it. And what's great about the cafes here in France is I've never been to anything like it. All the chairs are faced out at the street.
We're all Nene. I think she just came in. All the chairs are just faced out at the street because you don't want to miss anything that's going by. All these fucking beautiful women, all dressed unbelievably. And then you got the Eiffel Tower in the background, and we got there just before dusk, and at dusk they turned the lights on. Oh, there she is.
Ah, bonjour.
Bonjour, madame.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Come on in. Come on in. I was smart enough this time to not plug my mixer in. Right before I stuck it in the wall with the adapter, I saw the two prong things. I'm like, wait, this is what happened to me the last time.
Yeah.
With my $99 fucking mixer. Well, come on over here near the microphone.
D'accord.
That means okay, everybody. See, I told you she's good at it. So anyways, I was just telling them.
What are you talking about?
You just cleared your...
Oh, sorry.
See that big blip there? You just cleared it right near the microphone.
Oh, je m'excuse.
So I was just telling them about taking that rickshaw bike over to the Eiffel Tower, and just how they have the city laid out where you don't see it, you don't see it, you don't see it, and then it's just boom between the two buildings, and how he was sitting in that cafe. Yeah.
That was amazing.
Drinking wine, and I'm smoking my little pretentious cigarette thing.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. Like, everybody fucking smokes over here. It's hilarious.
Oh, it's great.
There's no Surgeon General here whatsoever. But I was mentioning that we're gonna go see the Mona Lisa today, and I'm not a big museum person, and I've kind of been speaking for you on a scale of 1 to 10. Your feelings about museums?
You know what? I would say I'm at a 7.
You are a 7, but
I'm not a full on 10 because I'm not the kind of person that's like wants to spend an entire day in a museum. I want to go in, see the shit that I want to see, and then get out because it's exhausting. But there are certain things that I love. I do love museums, but I just don't want to go there and like when we're in New York and I go to the MoMA, I just want to go in, see some things and leave. I don't want to spend the day at the MoMA. Some people do that and they love it. I can't do that.
I literally get sick to my stomach when I hear you say, go to the MoMA.
What do you mean?
It's just like, I feel like I'm back in school and it's the class I hate and I have to sit there until the bell rings. Do you know when I was a single man in New York, the amount of time people go, oh, take her to a museum, and it would always be the worst fucking date. And it was, and I would do it because people say that, that's where you take these New York ladies. So,
right.
And I would take them there like I was cultured. I'm not cultured. I would go there and I would be bored shitless, and then they would feel it. Like, I'm telling, like 20 minutes in, depending on how good looking she was.
But the thing,
15, 20 minutes in, I would just be bored shitless, and I would be looking for a place to buy a hot dog.
But the thing is, there'd be certain exhibits at museums that you would like. Remember when we went to the car museum?
I said that.
Birthday?
I like the car museum.
You like that place?
I like.
There was like a stand-up comedy exhibit.
Yeah, that's not a museum. That's just cool shit, or like a bunch of cool photographs I could get into.
Right.
But the artifacts, like when we went to the fucking thing there with the guy who flew on the ceiling. That shit was
the Sistine Chapel. You were like walking through there like you were walking through an airport trying to get to your gate. You were like walking so fast, barely looking at anything. You were just like, I'm just walking through this because I have to, because it's the Sistine Chapel.
It was one vestment after another. This priest
was beautiful, though.
What are you talking about?
I know. We have this whole... I can't even believe that you would say that it's not beautiful in there. It was absolutely gorgeous. It was a lot to take in. But you're like a 13-year-old boy. You're like, this is boring.
No, it didn't.
It sucks.
It looked like an Italian's living room. You know that hacky joke that they do where they talk about that room that's all covered in plastic that no one can go into? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's just ornate. I'm going to use the word ornate. It
but
was
don't
just
you...
so fucking over. It was so gaudy. Look Look, you know how you love how the Parisians dress, where it's
Yes.
basically all dark color, and then like the splash of color with the scarf or the shoes or the hat, and everything else is sort of was it muted, matted,
neutral,
whatever the fucking word is. That was the exact opposite.
Yeah,
That was the epitome of
But look how
I got this over here.
I know, but there's so much time and skill that goes into putting all those frescoes up. It was absolutely incredible, though. You got to appreciate that part of it. You got to appreciate the artistry that goes into something
Absolutely.
like this.
The same way I can appreciate an older movie, but also realize that the dialogue's a little dated. Like the way they decorated it is a little dated. Oh, I got to give.
What is it? What do you mean dated? I mean, it's Rome. It's one of like the oldest cities.
I loved
ever.
Rome. I loved Rome. I loved everything about it. Other than that the only fucking museum I went to was that stupid Sistine Chapel, and it sucked. When you go there, make a right and go right to the ceiling painting.
Yeah, that's
and then
the
get
best
the
thing
fuck
to
out
do.
of here. Don't go to the left and see every chalice they ever fucking drank out of for like the next. And it wasn't even crowded that day. God forbid if it was fucking crowded. You're gonna. I swear to God, you're gonna think about abandoning your family for good if you're wired like me. So by the way, I would now say, having been here, that Paris, as far as Europe goes,
Yes.
Paris is like New York City. I'd say London is like a smart Chicago. I love saying that just to piss off people in Chicago. And then Rome is sort of like a Boston, Philly kind of thing.
You know what? I really feel like it's a complete travesty that you would try to compare these amazing European cities to cities in the United States.
Give me a fucking
No.
break.
These cities, New York, Chicago, and Boston are awesome.
Time out.
But
Yeah,
to
don't
try
do
to
that
compare
thing.
them to Europe, that's stupid.
Well, most
That's
of my
stupid
listeners
to do that.
Listen, most of my listeners are from the United States of America. They need a frame of reference.
No, they don't. You don't need to give them some sort of watered down frame of reference. No, Paris is like Paris, London's like London, and Rome is like Rome.
Ah, Jesus. Yeah, you're going to do that
They're
person
not-
who comes over here and now fucking just says that everything over here is paved with gold.
No, I'm not saying
Did you
that,
see all
but I'm
those
saying-
fish and chip eating jackasses in England? I mean, you can't tell me that that's not Chicago. Like the amount
I've
of
only
heart
been to
attacks.
Chicago once, and I had an awesome time. So I don't know that much about.
I love Chicago. I love Chicago, and I gave London props where I said that it's like a smarter Chicago. Plus, I like
while insulting Chicago.
Well, that's what I got to do. Somebody has to go down in the scenario.
Sorry, Chicago.
Oh, fuck you. I love Chicago, and you know me. I'm a moron. That's all I've been doing is talking about how dumb I am on this. I can't even go to a fucking museum and enjoy myself. So also out here, you know what you missed yesterday? You missed these two, I was going to say French people. Like what else are they out here? These two French guys. Oh, that's another thing, too. Just like in what I love about traveling, just like in Philly, how a cheesesteak is just called a cheesesteak. They don't go, can I get a Philly cheesesteak? They're in Philly. Just like over here, French toast is not French toast.
Right.
It's pain perdu.
Le pain perdu.
Yeah, le pain perdu. That's what it is. There's no French in it. They are French. They don't need to say it. So that's my travel
And
tip.
it's delicious. Wasn't it really good with that custard?
Although in Boston, it's still a Boston cream pie.
That's because it's Boston.
Yeah, we're morons. Is that where we are?
They would have a fucking Framingham, whatever over there. They'd identify everything in Boston just to say that it's Boston related.
Oh, shut up. It's not like we're
I'm
going...
from Boston. I love my city, but come on, Boston is... If you want to talk about dumb, let's talk about Boston.
what are you talking about? Harvard?
No, God.
We have Harvard,
Harvard.
Boston University,
I went to college in Boston, as did you.
MIT,
It's a wonderful
Mecca of universities.
mecca of university of people who come from other places to continue their education in a very beautiful, brisk fall setting. Otherwise,
I would
it's a bunch of
I would be
friendlies eating
offended by that.
jackasses, as you say.
I would be offended by that if I didn't fit into that fucking stereotype. Believe it or not, people, I did not get accepted to Harvard. I got accepted to Wentworth.
Where's that?
Wentworth was a construction school. What? This is like fucking Breakfast Club. What, I'm dumb because I know how to make a lamp?
No, you're not.
No, you're a genius because you know how to make a lamp. That's what you're supposed to say. And I had no construction
Wentworth.
skills whatsoever. The reason why I picked it was because it just looked like it was a fun job because I was working in warehousing. And I noticed when you worked with a bunch of other guys and the boss was sort of there but not really there, you could just stand around breaking balls all day. So that's why I picked the school.
Right. Okay.
I get accepted there, and then I also got semi-accepted to Northeastern. Like, all right, we'll let you take a couple of classes.
I'll see how you do.
We'll see how you do. And yeah, it was a fucking nightmare.
I didn't get accepted.
And then I went to neither place.
I got rejected from Harvard, of course, because I wasn't smart enough. My dad went to Harvard, so I felt like, well, let me apply to Harvard. I feel like I should have
your family
pushed harder to get into Harvard, but I didn't. And I went to Emerson, and it was awesome. So,
and there's my college story.
And that's my college story. Yeah,
listen,
it was great.
We're coming up on an hour here.
What are you talking about here?
I talked about everything. Oh, you know something else? I've been trying like every friggin' cigar that you can try out here because their selection is incredible. Mm-hmm. But this is what I have learned. Even in Paris, if you want to buy a cigar, go to a cigar store. What's the one that I went to down the street? On Rue Saint Honoré. I
don't know, but yeah, you got to go to a specialty place, just like with the boulangerie. You go to the boulangerie.
That's bakery. Boulangerie.
To get the croissant and the baguettes, and I guess you go to a pâtisserie to get the like little cakes and the macaroons and things like that.
Yeah, because other than that, you're just gonna get ripped off. Like it's weird because they got all these places. Was it TABAC? Tabac, yeah. You just see those signs and you're like, oh, there's Cuban cigars in there. And you walk in there, but they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like I walked in to one yesterday and I bought 2 different size like Cohibas, these smaller ones and real thin ones. And you're supposed to like, basically what you do is you squeeze the end of it. You're supposed to go in about 50% and then supposed to come back out.
I like watching you squeeze your imaginary cigar.
Yeah. The rest of the cigar, regardless of how hard it is, it doesn't make a difference. It's that right there. That'll give you a good draw. But the whole thing was squishy. And I noticed that they seemed almost a little wet. They had the fucking humidifier up too high. And I'm sitting there, I was smoking it last night. It was like, it's like I'm smoking wet leaves. And it was a Cuban. I had to finish the thing. How funny was it when I stuck the Q-tip in the end of it to the side?
Yeah.
So I get down to the end. It was still, better than any cigar that I usually get in the U.S.
That's like when you're like in college or whatever, and you're trying to smoke like the smallest part of the joint. You use a pair of tweezers to smoke out of it.
Roach
that
clip,
was exactly the roach clip.
There's a famous story because I've only heard it once in my life. I'm not going to say it's famous. Castro, when he was at the UN, he actually lit up during the whole meeting of the minds of people around the world. And as he's sitting there listening, he's smoking a Cuban, which I think is a big fuck you to the U.S. Like, yeah, you guys wish you could be smoking these. And in the end, he what he used as a roach clip was some part of his glasses. And he stuck it in there, and he was holding his glasses, like hitting it like a roach at the end.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. Dressed like he was on MASH.
I got you a croissant from the boulangerie.
Okay, what flavor?
Plain, the butter one.
How do you say it? Burr.
Bill Burr.
Yeah, Burr. Okay, let's read a couple of these things here. Fake sports enthusiasm. Dear Billy Balls, between the Final Four and the Super Bowl, which one do you think attracts the most fake female sports fans? All just running out the door in whatever color they're rooting for. Never watched any regular season games. Which is it? I say the Final Four. First of all, I don't think that you got to just say that it's women.
Yeah, fuck you.
Oh, Jesus. I'm not saying that because Nia's here either. Although I might subconsciously because we have to spend the day in a museum.
The most fake female sports fans. There's only fake female sports fans?
I would say
Oh, well, the Super Bowl is brutal for the fake female sports fan. It's fucking brutal.
It's brutal for everybody because most people pretend like they give a shit about the Super Bowl when they don't. They just want to watch the goddamn commercials. Count myself among them.
That's a very ignorant point of view. What you're doing right now is because you're looking out your own head and saying this is the view of the world. The thing is, Nia,
a lot of people are.
You're part of the problem. You're the woman who shows up that doesn't give a fuck and talks during the game.
I don't show up. Yeah. You know I don't go to games or any of that kind of shit with you because I usually don't care.
No, but the Super Bowl, you do show up. You go to a Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
You eat the food. You talk during the game. And you shut up during the commercial. No. And then when the game comes back on, you go, oh my God, how much you think that one cost? That one wasn't that good.
That is not what I do at all. Yes, you are lying right now. I don't ever do that.
I'm never more embarrassed of you than on Super Bowl
so many
Sunday.
Super Bowl parties with you, and I've never done that. I usually dip out during the game, or I'm sort of sitting there watching it and not really paying attention on my phone.
Not. You're over in the corner giggling with your friends during the game. All I hear is ha ha.
No,
that's what I hear. I would actually say the Super Bowl because the Super Bowl has become like a national holiday, and it's the fact that it is one day, it is on the weekend, it's only just for one fucking day, and the fact that there's going to be food and all of that stuff for non-sports fans to still enjoy, and then all the other extra fucking hyping, like, oh, we need to turn the channel and watch the Puppy Bowl or whatever the fuck it is, or oh my God, fucking.
I do like the Puppy Bowl. That's cute.
Yeah. Fucking Bruno Mars is going to be playing at halftime.
He killed it.
He did kill it. Oh, he's awesome.
He killed it.
He's awesome. I'm not saying he didn't, but I'm just saying better than Tom Petty.
Tom Petty.
You know when Tom Petty came out looking like the guy in the Nickel?
Oh, the blonde. Last Dance with Mary, that guy?
Yeah, he looked literally... Who's the guy in the Nickel? Is that Thomas Jefferson, or is that of Thomas Jefferson or Tom Petty?
Of Tom Petty.
All right, girlfriend cheating on her diet. What up, Billy Redknob?
I already don't like this person.
Why? You don't like that delivery?
No, that's actually pretty funny. Girlfriend cheating ... on her diet.
On her diet? That sounds like a gay guy wrote that. On her diet.
Ridiculous.
Scandalous. I'm 27 years old and have a girlfriend of 6 years whom I live with. When we first got together, she had a sexy, athletic body. That all changed last year when she got promoted and started working long hours in a high-stress position. She began smoking weed almost every night, claiming it helped her relax after a hard day's work.
Yeah, man.
She also started eating like shit, lots of fast food, larger portions, etc. She's probably 60 to 70 pounds heavier than when we first met. And on her 5'3" frame, it fucking shows, man. After ignoring my subtle... That would show on a 6-foot frame. After ignoring my
probably 60 to 70 pounds heavier.
After ignoring my subtle hints for the last year, I finally sat her down last month and said enough is enough. She needs to make an effort to get healthier. I did everything to support her in losing weight. I paid for an expensive supplement program that her coworkers recommended. I started making her healthy lunches every day to take to work. When she'd get home from work, I'd have a healthy dinner ready for her on the table. I even paid for a new gym membership and bought her a new bicycle. Today, I found a hidden cache of fast food wrappers in the garage. This led me to look at her bank statements from the last month. She's been picking up fast food on her way home from work nearly every day since we talked. This sounds like a Biggest Loser story. Not only that, she'd also buy fast food at lunches sometimes too, suggesting that she was tossing the lunches I made her in the trash. This really pissed me off. I'm a guy who takes care of my body and want a woman who does the same. She's only 24 and hasn't had children. She shouldn't have a beer gut, jowls, and saggy tits. You were so in the pocket. You were so in the pocket.
I want to fucking take your computer and throw it out the goddamn window. Can you please finish the rest of this so I can go off on this asshole? Please, just finish it, because I swear to fucking God. I swear to God.
I think he's making a lot of good points.
Oh my God.
The fact that I spent...
Oh my God!
Wait a minute.
Oh,
And
I'm so angry.
don't scream too close to the
angry.
computer. I can't use a mixer this week. The fact that I spent all this money and effort on her only to have her sabotage it and hide it from me makes me seriously call our relationship into question. What would you do in my situation? Oh my God, Nia's taking off her shoes.
Oh my God! You know what? You
Hey, we have to be quiet.
I know. You know what? You shallow, just bullshit fucking asshole guy who wrote this letter. Let me explain something to you right now. You think you care about her health? You don't care about her health. You certainly don't care about her state of mind. All you care about is whether or not your girlfriend's hot enough. What, for you, for your friends, for society? You don't give a shit. You said yourself she's got this job, she's stressed out, and so she's stress eating. That's what a lot of people do, okay? And you're sitting here, you seem like you were well-intentioned, right? But now it seems like you're just being fucking shallow because you don't care. You don't care about anything that's going on inside of her, physically or mentally or emotionally. All you care about is what she looks like. And now you're mad because she's like hiding it from you and you're calling into question her relationship. You've been with her for 6 years and you're going to call into question her relationship, how she feels about you because she's going through something emotional. Why don't you talk to her about how she feels instead of trying to put a Band-Aid on the problem and making it seem like you care when you obviously don't give a shit, okay? You're a shallow, superficial douchebag, and she should dump your ass and get hot, even hotter than when. And she's 24. You met her. Wait a minute.
Time out. Now, how would she go about getting even hotter? By losing 60 to 70 pounds?
No, you know what? She could get hotter by finding a guy who's making more money and who's nicer and like just a better person.
So she should become a gold digging fat whore?
No.
Wait a minute. Now listen. Here's the deal.
Forget her even.
Time out.
Weight.
You're being too hard. I'm going to tell you right now.
She should just dump you.
No. Yeah, you're being.
You mean she had a better body when she was a teenager than she was when she started to get into like her midlife? What a surprise! That's unbelievable. That happens.
Oh my God!
When people get older and have like grown-up responsibilities, that's really crazy how that happens.
Sir, you hit the. Listen.
And you've got, like a six-pack and a full head of hair, and you're just, like, the hottest guy ever, right? And that's not going to change for you maybe in 10 years? If you go through something and you're having a hard time, and the person that you supposedly love and cares about you and has been with you for 6 years just decides to, toss you aside because you gained some weight? Fuck you.
Wait a minute. Okay, time out. Can I defend this guy a little bit here?
Of course, sure. That's what you do. You defend the assholes who write into you. So, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I can't bite the hand that feeds. No, I'm not defending this guy just to defend this guy. Okay, first of all, you're ignoring the fact that this guy, he sat down with her in a nice way. Okay, in a caring way. Nia, to be 5'3" and put on 60 to 70 pounds, you're setting yourself up for heart disease, and you're going to die. And this guy, she hasn't even had kids yet. Okay, time out, and she has to go through all of that, which you know, Nia. Okay, that's already hard enough as it. She's only 24 years old. You should not be 60 to 70 pounds. Nia, 30 pounds overweight is obese. This girl is 2 times on her way to 3 times at 24. She's blowing out her body, and she's never going to be in shape again. And she's going to live a miserable fucking life a very difficult life because of it. She's going to blow out her knees. I'm telling you, all of this shit is going to come. And this guy, he did not sit down and say, hey, you used to be hot, and now you're not. He's
basically saying
time out. No, he isn't. Time out. He sat down with her like an adult and said that basically, I'm concerned about you. We said I love you. I'm concerned about you. I want to help you get healthier. This guy is making lunches for her. He's paying for a gym. He's doing all of this stuff. And in the end, when he's trying to help her out, and then she's going behind his back, eating, which she's doing it out of a shame thing. He felt betrayed, and then the anger comes out, and then that's when he says beer gut jowls and saggy tits. Okay, now this is the thing there.
like...
It's unnecessary for him to, like, put it like... I understand what you're saying. Okay,
well, he has to,
right.
because he can't say that to her, and he has to get his anger out, or he has to make a fucking joke. He has to do something. And yeah, this guy's also 27 years old. He says he keeps himself in fucking shape, which, you know something? That's not fair to your partner. It's not fair to your partner to go out and put on that kind of weight, okay?
She's 24 years old, though. She can bounce back. It's not like she's 44. She's 24. Okay, like it's hard to lose that kind of weight, of course, but she can do it. But I'm just saying, like, why can't he be more emotional? He's doing all this stuff where you like do all like the physical stuff, but he seems like he's incapable of being like emotionally supportive to her.
What are you talking about? He was in the beginning. He was in the beginning. He did this. What he's doing in the end is he's talking to me, guy to guy. She's 24 years old, hasn't even had kids. She shouldn't have a beer gut, jowls, and saggy tits. You know what? He's coming at her like a football coach.
Well, she doesn't need a football coach.
He didn't say it to her. He didn't say it to her. He said it to me.
Suggesting she was tossing the lunches I made her in the trash.
Yeah.
Who knows? She might have just...
She's probably eating them both.
She's probably eating them both.
Right. What would you do in my situation? That helped this fucking guy out. He seems like he's keeping himself in shape. He's actually a great boyfriend. If he was a dick, he would have said, I'm breaking up with you because you have a beer gut and jowls. He didn't. He tried to help her with the fucking problem. Guys, problem solve, okay? Help this guy connect with her emotionally. So, I mean, look, she's got this high-stress fucking job, but, like, at some point, you know, you got to settle into the stress of your job or you have to get a new fucking job, but this is what it's doing to you. All right? And, yeah, I got to tell you, you get 60 to 70 pounds overweight at 24 fucking years of age. What's going to happen at 34? And, yeah, that is a legitimate question. It's a legitimate question because that weight thing is, you know, it starts happening. People die, Nia. Not to bring up a bad fucking subject.
Yeah, you're really like, you're kind of like taking it to the extreme, though. I mean...
But, Nia, if you're going to think about being with somebody for the rest of their life, you're going to have kids with this person. They're already this much overweight. They're not going to be there. They're not going to fucking be there.
All right, fine. Maybe I went too far when I was calling him an asshole and all that kind of stuff.
I think you had a normal reaction because
it's that last thing. You know what I mean? Because you know what, you're right. Everything that he says that he's doing in terms of making her healthy meals and buying her a bike and the gym membership, that's all well and good. And maybe this is the part about men and women that's difficult because yes, you guys try to problem solve. You don't try to connect on an emotional level and say like...
No, you bury the emotions.
Right.
And you go to the gym.
Exactly. Where it sounds like what she needs to blow off steam. And a lot of people do. They eat, they drink, they smoke weed, they do other drugs. This is how they cope. These are how people cope.
That's another thing. She starts
skills.
using fucking alcohol's a drug, but now she's
weed, and that increases your hunger for most people like you wouldn't believe. So and you don't want a salad when you're high. You want pizza and cheeseburger and nachos.
Let me ask you this, Nia. Let me ask you this. Let's just say you're dating me. All right? Mm-hmm. You know, we've been going out for 2 years. I'm in great shape, and then all of a sudden, the stress of the road, I put on 60 to 70 pounds and start smoking weed. Now, you're going to tell me that you're not going to entertain breaking up with me. You're not going to sit there and be like, this is going to be the father of my kids. This is the person I'm going to spend my life with. This guy who's acting like he's in fucking Wayne's World and Uncle Buck all at the same time.
You know what? I honestly can't say that I would. If you all of a sudden that's all you were doing with yourself, and whenever you weren't on the road, you were just sitting around smoking weed and eating.
You know what? You're full of shit. If I came home, imagine my pasty, freckled torso with man tits.
Right.
My fucking navel the size of $50 now.
Yeah.
Smoking weed and just sitting there fucking, you know, that's going to affect my sex drive. And now I'm getting on top of you.
Sweating all over me.
Yeah. You got to get on top of me. I look like I'm pregnant. I mean, give me a fucking break. Right? And then you're walking down the street and you're seeing all these other guys going to the gym. And you're in the prime of your fucking life.
Yeah.
And you're going to pick a mate for the rest of your fucking life. and I'm already looking like I've worked on Wall Street for 30 fucking years, you're not going to sit there and have any second thoughts. Come on, you.
I mean, I might not be as sexually attracted to you. That's for sure. But I wouldn't
Can
stop,
you just tear the Band-Aid off and just say what you're going to say?
But I wouldn't be like, I need to, that's the other
How would
thing
you
that I have
approach me? How would you approach me?
No, but listen, the
I'm
thing is,
60 to
this
70
is the
pounds.
problem. This is the problem that I have, especially with this whole letter. The fact that I spent all this money and effort on her, only to have her sabotage it and hide it from me, makes me seriously call our relationship into question. Why does that call your relationship into question?
Because she's being deceptive.
Yeah, because she's going through some emotional shit, but she's being deceptive about food. It's not like she's like cheating on it. She's like, you know what I mean?
I know she is.
For him to take it, to make it to seem like, you know, oh, or do you really not love me now? Because, you know, you're not following this diet that we agreed that you would follow. Like, that's not a fair comparison to make on somebody. Like, it's really not fair to do that.
No, is it fair to do what she's doing?
Well, she's not doing it against him. And as a way to hurt him.
I know she isn't.
So you can't say, is it fair for her to be doing that to him?
You know
because
something?
This is not what it's like.
But this is this classic fucking female thing where you guys are right when you're right and you're right when you're wrong. Like, you're acting like, you know.
You think she's doing this to hurt him?
Well, why can't she be a little more mature and just say, like, listen, why can't she sit down with him and just level with him and let him know, just say, listen, I got to be honest with you. I know that you care about me. I know that you sat down and you had this conversation with me, and I know that I said I was going to do this and this and this, but I'm actually doing that, and I'm actually, you know, not going to the gym, and I feel bad that you're wasting your money and all that, and you're taking all this time to make a lunch every morning. How loving is that he's doing that?
She should do that.
Yeah, all right then. She's not 100% free of guilt. The thing about it is, Nia, is that guys are guys, and we talk like guys, and guys just get to the fucking heart of the matter.
I don't like the fact, what he said, he looked at her bank statements from last month. She's been picking up fast food on her way home for like nearly every day.
I gotta tell you, Mia, that's a chick thing to do. Go through somebody's email and snoop. He's Snoop.
It is. It's
Snoop.
It's,
And now you don't like that. Now what if a woman did it? You probably would like it.
No, I don't. I hate when
she
people...
had a hunch.
No, I don't like
because
when people check self. I have friends who check, and I don't think it's smart to do. I think it's ridiculous. And also, it's like, don't look, because you more than likely going to see something that you don't want to see.
Well, I'll be checking your emails later on today.
I have nothing to hide.
All right,
you can check all my emails.
All right, so what should he do in this situation?
Well, first of all, I should probably apologize for saying fuck you and calling you an asshole. But yeah, you should just sit down and have a talk with her and just say, I'm concerned about you and what's going on with you emotionally. Like, tell me what's going on. How does he deal with? Maybe we can go for a walk after work and you can tell me about your day. When he brings up the fact that he snooped and looked at her bank statements. He does not need to do that. Well, let's just say he does. Because at this point now, his girlfriend she's going to freak out. And she can get a lot of weight behind those punches now. You're such a dick. No, he should just say, I'm worried about you because I feel like you're going through some stuff and I tried to help you, but maybe it's not enough. Do you want to talk to me? Do you want to talk to somebody else? How are you feeling? Because she probably feels shitty about herself. She probably feels terrible about herself. She's gained that much weight. None of her clothes fit anymore. She knows how she looks. She probably feels absolutely terrible. And her one solace in life is that she's got this boyfriend who's home and he cares about her and he loves her. And she's abusing her. That's not abuse. Don't throw that word around, Bill. That's a strong word. Don't do that. She's taking abusing him. She's taking advantage of him. Stop it. She's taking advantage of their love. She's not. You're making it. That's what I don't. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. She's not trying to hurt him by doing this. She's hurting herself. You don't know her. You don't know her. And you don't know him. Exactly. So why are you right and I'm wrong? I'm not saying I'm right. I'm giving you my opinion. Isn't that why I'm here? You really have a beautiful profile. You know that. Don't try to throw me off. No, I'm serious. With that. Anyways. I appreciate that, but don't try to throw me off. All right. That was a legitimate thought, but I was trying to throw you off a little bit. No, listen. If I just forgot the fuck I was going to say. No. It would be very hard for me. Go back what we were just talking about. We were saying... this thing, no. She probably feels bad for herself. She probably blah, blah, blah. Hey, here's something. What if she doesn't?
What if she doesn't give a fuck?
No,
There are
she
those
does.
people. How do you know? There are those people who just don't give a fuck.
Because she's a woman and she's 5'3" and she's put on more than like 10 pounds, it's just devastating for us. I'm 5'4" and I've been, about 25 pounds heavier? I understand.
Still look good, though.
You liked me when I was a little bit heavier.
Yeah,
I
don't mind. I don't mind.
You said you liked it when I was a little bit thicker. So listen, it does show. It shows like nobody's business. You are right, sir. It shows. And
right,
it does suck to have your formerly tight, hot body girlfriend all of a sudden not be that way.
I know, and if she
she
looks like she's a retired athlete in her 50s at 24, I mean, what is he supposed to do? He is 27.
So he is still at that shallow age where he's like, calling into question his relationship based on your partner's weight gain.
No,
that's the level of maturity he's at.
Yeah, listen, that's a very serious fucking thing. To be that overweight at that age. I mean, if you do that to your body and you stay that way for 20 years, I mean, your body can only take that for so long. And when you're thinking about starting a family with somebody, they have to be around. They got to be involved. They can't be over in the corner, with no energy, lethargic, and then having, on top of that, all kinds of fucking health. That's another thing, too. You're not going to be able to get fucking health insurance. I mean, what she's doing really is affecting both of them. I'm not trying to be a dick here, but like...
They're not even engaged, though. This is just his girlfriend. That's how you get her to lose weight. You should propose. She'll lose weight with the quickness. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, but then once they get married, she's going to go right back to the Doritos.
Well, then that just means that there is a significant emotional thing that needs to be addressed. So all that stuff that you did while you got her this great bike and a gym membership and all that stuff to support, first of all, that should tell you that a person is only going to change their lifestyle if they want to. Number one, that's the first lesson. That's with drugs or food or anything. Number two, that means you need to go deeper than just the kind of like, these are the things that you do to get healthy.
I got the answer right here.
That means you're either talking or you're suggesting therapy, or you go to therapy to talk about it or something. She probably needs to. If she's got like some sort of like eating
the answer.
Food addiction or something.
I got the answer.
She's probably just fucking depressed. And when you're depressed, you smoke weed and you gain weight. Like, she's depressed. She's stressed out.
He needs to sit down and decide if it's worth it. Does he love this person enough to ride through this fucking storm? If you're not, if you don't feel that way, then you should just walk. Okay? And then breaking her heart is better than marrying her when you don't love her. So just break her heart, the stress of that and the sadness of that, she won't even be able to eat that Big King every day, and she'll probably drop like 15.
Has he stopped loving her? Because if that's the case, then
he's calling their relationship into question. So I don't know why. Because he's being honest. Why can't you fucking be honest? Why can't guys be who we are? We are visually. You know what I love about women is you fucking want to use that shit where visually attractive gets you a fucking drink. Or get you out of some shit. What do you mean? Ugh, like that doesn't fucking work. You want to use it when it works for you, and then you want to use that weakness when it's to your fucking advantage, and then when it's the other way, you want us to be these fucking understanding goddamn people. You want us to be guys when it gets you a free fucking drink.
We want guys to love us whether we're like the hot body or we gain some weight. That's what we want. We want to not.
Yeah, you want your cake and eat it. Literally.
We want to not be. We want to live in a world where we don't have to even fucking have this conversation. That's what we want.
Yeah, I want to be rude and fat. And selfish
that's you guys.
Shop
actually
and do whatever I want to do, and I want you to still love me.
You guys are already rude and fat and disgusting and ridiculous, and you get to do that. But women can't do that.
As you interrupt me, I'm rude.
We have to be like the hot body, otherwise you call our relationship into question.
Oh, so this one guy is everybody now?
He's not everybody, but we're talking about just a general scope of thing.
You just
said women like to do this and women like to do that, like it's all women. That's what I do? That's what I do?
Yeah, but I'm a moron. You're supposed to be a higher being. You're a female.
We are higher beings.
You're not.
Trust us.
You're not.
You're
just as dumb as we are, just in different areas.
No.
You don't think so?
No. Being an emotional person makes you tuned into things that you, as a male, with your basic fucking basicness, can't understand. So we already are high, and we can carry children. We've got some spiritual level shit that you'll never understand.
Exactly. And you know what we also have? We have some plow through some shit that you don't understand. Don't you think
because you need plow through some shit and emotional shit?
I finish a fucking thought.
No. Can't you be a plow through shit and an emotional? You need both of those things, don't you think?
Yeah, it's called the yin and the yang. But for some reason, you think your yang is better than my yin. And that's the fucking problem. And there's 50,000 shows on fucking TV. As much as you ladies complain about the images on TV, there's a zillion fucking things on TV that are telling you that you guys are right and guys are morons. Start with 90% of the fucking advertising when they show a man and a fucking woman in a relationship. Like that ridiculous one from a few years ago that I'll never fucking believe that they were actually, where she's sitting at the computer and the guy's outside, finds a beehive and literally sticks a broom handle up into the fucking thing and is getting stung by bees because he's a dumb guy and she has to sit down and handle the family business at the fucking computer. Okay? Please do the chauvinistic version of that fucking commercial.
What do you mean, do the chauvinistic version of that? When the woman's done?
Have the guy figuring out the family business on a fucking computer as she's sitting there looking through a fashion magazine, or that's not even at the same level of ridiculousness. What is the female version of sticking a broom handle into a fucking beehive?
They're assuming that the woman is taking care of like the day-to-day run the household stuff, that the man is too busy working to figure out.
No,
so
go with the metaphor.
So they're trying to appeal to a woman's sensibility so that she'll like the product. And then she'll buy it. That's all like...
What about the metaphor?
Marketing.
No,
it's not like...
What about the metaphor that's going on there? That he's such a moron, he's trying to stick his fucking pole into any goddamn hole he can find. That's not
knowing he can get stung at any moment.
Yeah. It was him getting herpes. Dear Billy Bounce, what music are you listening to these days? What's on your iPod? What's the lovely Nia listening to? What do you listen to when you work out that chiseled Lee Marvin body? It's as old as Lee Marvin's body. What am I listening to these days? I don't fucking know. I usually listen to shit that makes me want to play drums. Or learn some drum shit. So I have no idea. Last night when we actually watched, we were watching Comedy Central because we were their website. We were jet lagged.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep.
And when I watched Key and Peele, and I watched The Workaholics, and Broad City, is that what it is?
Yeah.
When I watched it, all that did was make me feel fucking old. It made me feel fucking old. Like, let me go back a second. They're all fucking hilarious. Like, I was legitimately laughing through all of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But I didn't get so much of the shit. Not like I didn't get it. Like, what was that thing? That Hannibal Buress thing that he said? I didn't even get it.
Oh, yeah. He was talking about Childish Gambino, Donald Glover. It was this interview with Nerve.com that Hannibal Buress did. It was like we asked Hannibal Buress for sex advice. And in the end, they were asking him if he would want to do like a mixtape and if he raps and this and that. He's like, yeah, I thought about it, but I'm not going to, go full like Childish Gambino and this and that and the other. And then he made a reference to like, we figured out like Childish Gambino is really like Bill Burr and da-da-da-da. Or like when he does stand-up, it's Bill Burr. And you just could not understand. I was like, no matter how many times I tried to explain to you.
Is he making fun of me? Is that a compliment? I didn't even get it. I knew he wasn't.
That Donald Glover is also Childish Gambino. You didn't seem to.
And the whole time I heard Donald Glover, all I was picturing was Danny Glover. No. And then it's
Donald Glover. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. And then the Kroll Show. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Everything on the Kroll Show is hilarious. I mean, go on. What am I listening to? Since they were asking, what is the lovely Nia listening to? I actually downloaded Sam Smith's album based on his performance when Louis C.K. did SNL. Actually, it was another recent appearance that Louis did. It wasn't the first time around. So Sam Smith is awesome, just has a beautiful voice. I've actually been making a lot of mixes of like old stuff, a lot of old hip hop I've been listening to, a lot of like 90s.
What
I
makes
love
hip hop?
What makes hip hop? But I love what's the latest, like maybe Pusha T's album is something that I listen to a lot.
Oh, he's phenomenal. I have no idea who. I've
played it for you. You liked a couple of his verses, but overall, I don't think you were into it because you're not really into rap music right now, right? Would you say?
I can't listen to, if you're gonna fucking walk around your house or your apartment talking about all the stuff that you have in there. Mm-hmm. It's just boring as shit to me. I like storytellers. I will never like those guys that tell stories, about guns and selling drugs. If it's actually real, mm-hmm. It sounds real, like they actually did. That's why I love Jay-Z and Biggie, because they actually did that shit, yes. And then they talked about it, and it was like
Nas is like that.
It was
too.
Like listening to a movie.
Yeah, Nas is like that. Too,
I like
right?
that stuff.
But you don't like
West,
Kanye.
I don't. Kanye West is so far up his own ass. It's just like
that is true.
Yeah, I never heard of who walks around calling himself a genius. Who does that? I mean, there's right there. You're not a genius. You're an idiot. I don't understand I hate when he also stretches out the words. It's like, what are you trying to dumb it down for me? You either don't have enough material for this fucking song to finish it.
Oh, it's a style. It's like, what do you call it? Oh my God. Is that your Kanye West impression?
Whatever that one that I listened to because I like. Oh my God. Talk about being apropos. I believe it's called N-Words in Paris.
Yes. N-Words in Paris.
There's a part in the middle where he stretches out Jay-Z kills it, and then he comes on and he starts.
Yeah, can we get married at the mall?
And then it's time to do it. And it just keeps going and going and going. And I just feel
show me why you deserve to have it all.
Yeah, and it stinks. It's not clever, and he's slowing it down. I'm supposed to be on the other end. Oh shit. But whatever. I'm sure a zillion Kanye fans can't be wrong.
Saint
the
Vincent
man is a genius.
Saint Vincent is another one that I'm listening to.
I guess the most contemporary thing I've listened to in the past couple of years is probably Mute Math, and that's only because Andrew, who does the podcast, told me to check them out because their drum is fucking awesome.
Andrew Themlis has wonderful taste in music. Can we just say that on the podcast? I guess
we can't say that. All right, well, we got to wrap this
Andrew.
Up. Because we got to go look at that arrogant broad down in the building. Mona Lisa. Before I end, I got to just unbelievable sad day in comedy yesterday. The great John Pinette. Passed away, and I got to tell you a great John Pinette story. He was just an unbelievable guy. I only got to meet him a handful of times, but he's one of those guys. You met him the first time, it's like you knew him, like cliche, like you knew him forever. First time I ever saw him, all I had heard was the legend of John Pinette, where basically he started doing comedy and within 6 months was headlining because he didn't have the material yet because he'd only been doing it 6 months, but his charisma and how hard he was killing. And he was just such a natural that where in Boston, where it was just headlining was so solidified. You we always said, by the time we came around, you had to leave Boston to headline Boston because the Boston comedy gods weren't leaving and you weren't going to get funnier than them. So you had to go out and get TV credits
to just do a headlining set at the fucking Comedy Vault. But John Pinette was so funny, he plowed through all of that in 6 months. So the first time I see the guy, after hearing the legend of the guy, I'm at Nick's Comedy Stop on Kevin Knox's show. And this was after the stand-up boom ended, the 80s ended, in the early 90s when I started out. So, and they didn't learn how to promote a club because they never had to, because people just went to comedy clubs. So now for the first time ever, they had to learn how to promote it. They were still learning. So long story short, it was a Tuesday night at Nick's. There was maybe 28 people in the crowd. And John Pinette comes in and just says, hey, can I get up and do some time? And they put him on, and I watched him, and he did 12 minutes. And he made those 28 people, it sounded like a fucking jet was landing. He had them dying laughing, and he got a standing ovation. Like he had done like a 90-minute blistering set, just doing 12 minutes. And it was one of those things I had never seen anybody get a standing ovation, but I knew at the end they were going to stand up. And I remember he just went, and he just kind of like, sit down. I just remember going like, what the fuck was that? And fortunately, I never had to try to follow him. I did one show with him. I can't even remember where the hell we were. It was me, him, Kathleen Madigan. It was just a fucking great lineup of people. And, like, he closed it. And Jesus Christ. He was one of those guys that, and it's that Boston style. It's like, I got you, and I'm not letting you go. And I'm not letting you get up. And, like, nobody was the epitome of that more than him. So, gonna miss you, buddy. And that's it. That's the podcast for this week.